Good morning, I'm Maddie Jansen, and this is the podcast of 17 News at Sunrise. It's everything you need to know to start your day in about 15 minutes.
The spirit of the Golden Empire. This is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Breaking overnight, a Halloween party turned deadly after a mass shooting down south. What went wrong? Coming up.
It all starts with a spark. We're learning the cause of the fast-moving Getty fire and how quickly it took off. This all comes as Southern California braces for a historic wind event with an increased fire danger.
What many have known for a while is now official. Homelessness has been declared a crisis in Kern. What supervisors voted to move forward with that they hope will help get people off the streets. This is Wednesday, October 30th, 2019. Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher. The other thing we're watching this morning are the winds. And they are whipping around the county. I know up in the mountains, it was extremely windy when I headed down, and it's the same here in town.
And it looks like it's just going to continue throughout the day. So let's take a look at your forecast now with Kev.
Yeah, all the models suggested around 5 a.m. we'd start to see those winds pick up. And I was just outside a minute ago, and the winds are picking up, and it is a dust bowl out there right now. So if you can stay inside, that is probably the best thing to do this morning because we are going to continue to see these winds. I want to talk about the watches and warnings, and we have a lot of them to go through here. We first have the air quality alert. That is going to be in place until 11 o'clock on Thursday, and it's going to continue because of all the dust and the smoke that we're seeing around the state. We have a wind advisory also for Valley portion from Bakersfield south, and we're already seeing those winds pick up. That's in place from 8 a.m. this morning through 6 p.m., but I think we're starting to see those winds start to push in now. And then to the extreme south into Los Angeles County, there's a high wind warning. That is in place through noon on Thursday. Then we have a fire weather warning for the Kern County mountains, and that is not due to expire until midnight tomorrow morning. And then to the east of us, we have a freeze warning into the desert, and that is for Thursday between 3 a.m. and 9 a.m. So a lot going on in the weather department for us on this Wednesday. Let's take a look at where the winds are right now. The strongest of them, again, down to the south. They've backed off a little bit, according to this map, out of the Tehachapi area. But, again, this only updates every 10 minutes or so. So I'm sure in the next update we're going to see that's change. Now, I want to talk about the wind forecast. This is a model that predicts the winds, and you can see they really pick up throughout the morning here on the west side and even into the Bakersfield area and into the Kern County mountains. We put this back into motion, and those winds continue throughout the day, and then by late tonight, we start to see them kind of push back just a little bit. So here's a look at the red flag warning information until midnight Thursday. We're looking at an east wind, 15 to 25. That is sustained upwards of 50 mile per hour winds through the canyons, and humidity values between 5 and 10%. We're at 56 in Bakersfield right now, 15% on the humidity. So those winds are picking up, and it is dropping those values. A south-southeast wind at 14. And then we're starting out in the 50s, 60s throughout the afternoon with that breeze. And then for the Tehachapi area, 36, 16% on the humidity. It says winds are calm out at the observation site there, but Maddie's family lives there, and they say it is blowing where they're at. And you can see temperatures this afternoon climbing only in the upper 40s to lower 50s. We're going to take you outside to the Adventist Health Cam right now, and this is what it looks like in downtown Bakersfield. And when I said it's a dust bowl out there, I wasn't kidding. And you can see into the streets downtown just that haze, and we'll adjust this camera as we go throughout the morning to show you the different parts. But again, if you can stay inside, that's my best advice for you this morning. We'll have much more in just a little bit, but first we want to send it over to Alex. He's got a check of your morning commute on this Wednesday.
All right, thanks so much, Kevin. Like you said, it is windy out there, so be mindful of that if you're headed outside, especially if you're driving around. Be mindful of all the tumbleweeds or other debris that could be blowing around today. And Kev said that it's going to last throughout the day, so just keep that in mind as you head out the door. It's going to be a busy day out there, especially for your morning commute. Right now, it looks like we do have one traffic hazard being reported on the southbound lanes of the I-5 near Fraser Mountain Park Road, and it looks like a big rig is just is stalling out there, so keep that in mind. Other than that, it's all looking okay right now, but again, the winds are just now starting to pick up, and that's going to be an issue as we go out throughout the day, because you could go into an area that where visibility decreases, so also keep that in mind as well. We'll keep you updated throughout the morning and have another check coming up in about 15 minutes.
We're following a deadly shooting out of Long Beach this morning. It happened last night just before 11. Here's a look at the scene right outside the home where it happened. Long Beach Fire Department says 3 men were shot and killed inside that house while at a Halloween party. Another 9 people were also shot, but it's not clear their condition this morning. Police have not said if any arrests were made in connection to this shooting or if they have a suspect.
It is 5:05 now, and just to the south of us, the Getty fire continues to burn. Close to 700 acres have burned since the fire broke out on Monday, and we now know the cause of this fire. L.A. Mayor Eric Garcetti announced the fire was sparked when a tree branch fell onto a live power line.
This was simply put, in plain parlance, an act of God, that the wind broke off a tree branch, through that tree branch because of these strong winds far enough to cause a spark off a line that is still intact there, but you can see a little bit of the damage on it. Most likely caused those sparks to fall and begin this fire, and then we were off to the races.
There are 24 different fire departments working to keep the flames under control. Containment sits at 15%. Yesterday, the National Weather Service issued an extreme red flag warning for most of Ventura and LA County. The area will face high winds and very low humidity throughout the day. No deaths or injuries have been reported in connection with this fire.
Up in Northern California, the Kincaid fire rages on. As of now, the fire has burned more than 76,000 acres, with containment still at 15%. To give you a little perspective on just how big that Kincaid fire is, the acreage is about twice the size of San Francisco. The fire forced nearly 180,000 people to flee their homes. That's the largest evacuation in Sonoma County history. About 200 buildings were destroyed in the fire, 60 of them homes. But so far, there have been no reported deaths due to this blaze.
SoCal Edison says its equipment was likely responsible for the Woolsey fire last year. The Woolsey fire erupted last year in November. It burned several areas in Calabasas, Agora Hills, Malibu, and Thousand Oaks. That fire destroyed 1,600 homes and killed 3 people. And in its quarterly report, SoCal Edison, quote, believes its equipment is likely responsible for that fire. The utility company is facing lawsuits from relatives of those who died in the fire.
It looks like thousands of Southern California Edison customers in Kern County are waking up in the dark this morning, but it does not appear to be due to a public safety power shutoff. Yesterday, customers in Tehachapi and unincorporated areas of Bear Valley Springs faced the threat of outages. This morning, close to 5,300 customers in Kern County are without power. Now, this is not listed on the public safety power shutoff page, but it's in the SoCal Edison area, a lot in the Tehachapi area. I know my husband told me our home is without power, and it just happened after I left this morning. And they are assessing that outage. About 950 customers in Los Angeles County were without power due to the public safety power shutoff, but many more customers are under consideration. More than 20,000 Kern County customers in SoCal Edison territory remain under the threat of a public safety power shutoff. But I want to give you a quick look at what it looked like as I was leaving this morning. I know it's kind of hard to tell, but the winds were whipping so bad that they were waking me up overnight. And so I just paused a quick second on my way out of my neighborhood to get video of a flag blowing in the air. And it was whipping this morning, tumbleweeds coming across the road. So take it easy if you're heading through the passes as well this morning.
And PG&E turned off the power for some of its customers here in Kern County. According to the website, more than 600 homes and businesses are without power right now. Those homes are in Arvin, Bakersfield, and Lebec. Most of the impacted PG&E customers are in the Bay Area.
Kern County supervisors have officially declared homelessness a crisis in Kern County. That decision was made at its meeting yesterday. The Board of Supervisors also voted to move forward with plans for a low-barrier homeless shelter. A low-barrier shelter specifically would allow pets, partners, and possessions. The $3 million facility will eventually have 150 beds, wrap-around services, showers, laundry, animal services, 2 security guards, and surveillance cameras.
Number one goal with this facility, number one, is to get people off the street, period.
How hairy this process gets, push forward. These services are needed.
Bakersfield city leaders also announced yesterday it had made an agreement to purchase land for a shelter of its own. The plans for the proposed shelter would include 450 emergency beds, a designated area for a BPD substation, a warehouse for people to store their possessions, and a cafeteria.
For veterans who can't fly with Honor Flight, it's the first time Honor Flight is bringing a virtual experience to them. 17's Karen Waugh was at Brookdale Senior Living Community Center to celebrate one very special local veteran.
The community came out to celebrate Betty Petrie's 104th birthday, but they also gave her a very special surprise for veterans. Betty Petrie is a firecracker.
I made it to 104. That's achievement.
She is sharp as a tack. She doesn't forget anything.
But she can't fly with her fellow veterans on the Honor Flight trip to our nation's capital.
After much contemplation, I decided that I wasn't physically able to go.
Since she can't go, Honor Flight Kern County is bringing the experience to her.
Remember when I was bugging you about the Honor Flight? Well, we brought it to you.
Betty Petrie served in the Navy for 3 years during World War II, largely working as a communications specialist in Washington, D.C.
She handled a lot of classified information in Washington, and to this day, if you asked her what her job was, she would tell you that she can't tell you.
She was discharged in 1945 as a lieutenant junior grade.
I would have loved to have gone back, to have seen all the places that meant so much to me when I was back in Washington.
So on her 104th birthday,
happy birthday, dear Betty.
A reminder that her service is still appreciated.
Betty, one of maybe 7 or 8 women we've been able to honor.
Being a very emotional person is just about more than I can take.
Her secret to longevity?
Good genes.
Petrie taught in Shafter until she retired. Congratulations and happy birthday, Betty. I'm Karen Waugh, 17 News.
Happy birthday indeed.
Yeah, 104. She looks great.
A month after her death, officials are finally confirming the identity of a woman killed in the Kern River Valley. The county coroner says Nicole Brianne Welch was killed on Paiute Mountain Road in Weldon. Her family shared this photo of Welch with us. Last month, the sheriff's office described Welch as the victim of an assault, but yesterday the coroner's office says she died after getting into a fight. There are 2 possible suspects in the case, but KCSO has not confirmed their identities.
Guns, drugs, and more than 24 arrests. That's the result of a recent crackdown by Delano police in response to a string of shootings. As we reported last week, Delano has seen 4 killings since September after having a relatively peaceful summer. Police Chief Robert Navarez called those numbers unacceptable and launched a new operation to reduce gun violence in the city. He showed some of the contraband they collected at a news conference yesterday.
We wanted to send a clear message that the level of violence that was occurring in our city was absolutely not acceptable, and we were going to use whatever resources that we had within this organization and outside of the organization to put a stop to it.
Since last Thursday, Delano police have arrested 25 people and gave 50 citations. They've seized more than 240 grams of marijuana, 14 grams of cocaine, 13 pounds of meth, and 4 guns. But the chief pointed out they still have no suspects to the 4 recent murders, including a shooting last week on Vassar Street. If you have any information on those cases, you can call Delano police.
Do you want groceries delivered straight to your door?
Yeah, the steps Amazon is taking to make that easier for its Prime customers.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
You probably know shopping at outlet malls can mean great deals. But as money reporter Stacey Johnson found, you may not always get what you pay for. And just because it's an outlet doesn't automatically mean it's a deal.
From off-season clothes and accessories to less-than-perfect items and refurbished, millions drive long distances every year to bargain hunt at outlet malls. But not everything here is a bargain. For example, did you know some retailers produce lower-quality items made exclusively to sell in outlet stores? Another trick, using fake prices to make merchandise seem a better deal than it is. There have been a ton of lawsuits over this recently. It's called phantom pricing. Now, this isn't true of every chain, nor is it true of every item in the store, but it can happen. So what you need is some tips to make you a smarter outlet shopper. First, ask about quality. Outlet Mall staff might tell you if the item you're eyeing is specifically made for outlet malls. Look at the tags. Some say factory line. Pay attention to the detail. Check for differences in materials like cotton and wool. Know what you're looking for. And make sure you know what the actual retail price is. Don't rely on what they say the suggested retail is. Finally, remember to hit the computer before you hit the mall. And for maximum savings, head for the clearance racks.
Bottom line, an outlet mall can be a great place to find some savings, but so could stores closer to home. For more information and links to make you a better outlet shopper, go to MoneyTalksNews.com and just do a search for outlet shopping. For Money Talks News, I'm Stacy Johnson.
Money Talks is brought to you by your local consumer credit counseling service. If you've got debt problems or just want some free budget counseling, call today.